Hello students, Standard 9th, Subject Science and Technology Part 1st, Chapter number 13, Carbon an important element. In last lecture, we have studied about the properties of carbon. In these properties, we have studied that carbon it is allotropic in nature. These allotropes of carbon they are found in two different types. First one crystalline form and second one non-crystalline form. So in case of crystalline form there are three different forms of carbon are occurred. First one diamond, second one graphite and third one fullerenes. And in case of non-crystalline form carbon it is found in three different forms. First one coal, second one charcoal and third one coke. Now today we are going to study about the hydrocarbons. These hydrocarbons they are also known as basic organic compounds. And we can understand that hydrocarbons they are made up of from two elements. From its name we understand that there are two elements present in it. Hydro means hydrogen and second one carbon. So we know that along with the carbon, the element hydrogen is also included in the most organic compounds. The compounds formed from only carbon and hydrogen, they are called basic organic compounds. And these basic organic compounds, they are also known as hydrocarbons. We know that atomic number of carbon is 6. And that is why the electronic configuration of carbon is 2,4. So if 4 electrons are added to the second orbit of carbon, its octet becomes complete and its electronic configuration becomes stable like that of the nearest inert gas, neon, that is 2,8. So therefore the valency of carbon is 4. So however, this occurs by sharing of electron rather than give and take of electrons. Means carbon cannot give and take electrons, but it can share 4 electrons with the other element. So in other words, a carbon atom can form 4 covalent bonds with other carbon atoms or atoms of different element. It means that when carbon shares electron with another element, so due to this sharing of electrons a covalent bond is formed, and the compound which is formed with the help of these covalent bonds, this compound it is known as covalent compound. So when a carbon atom shares 1 electron each with 4 hydrogen atoms and forms 4 carbon hydrogen single bonds, then we get a methane molecule. So a methane CH4 molecule is formed. So these covalent compounds they have some properties. So let us study about the properties of covalent compounds. The first property of covalent compound, that is covalent compounds they have low melting point and low boiling point. Second one, generally covalent compounds are insoluble in water and soluble in organic solvents. Third one, covalent compounds are poor conductors of heat and electricity. These hydrocarbons they are again classified into two different groups. First one saturated hydrocarbons and second one unsaturated hydrocarbons. So we know that a carbon atom exhibits a characteristic property. It can form a chain of carbon atoms by forming covalent bonds with the other carbon atoms. The hydrocarbons having only single bonds between carbon atoms are called saturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons means they have only single bond between carbon and hydrogen. For example, methane, ethane, propane, butane. We can see some examples are given. And some hydrocarbons, they have a multiple bond between two carbon atoms. Multiple bond means a multiple bond can be double bond or triple bond. So hydrocarbons having at least one multiple bond are called unsaturated hydrocarbons. For example, ethene. Ethene contain a double bond in it. Ethine. Ethine contain a triple bond in it. Propene. Propene contain a double bond in it. And propyne contain a triple bond in it. So these are the hydrocarbons. After that, let us study about the solubility of carbon. Solubility of carbon means in which different solution or in which different solvent does the carbon dissolve, does the carbon soluble. So to study the solubility of carbon, we have to do one activity, and for this activity we have to take 3 conical flasks, stirrer. Also we have to take some chemicals like water, kerosene, cooking oil, coal powder, etc. Then we have to take 3 conical flasks and we have to take cooking oil, water and kerosene respectively in each of the conical flasks. After that, we have to add a half spoonful of coal powder in each of the conical flasks, and we have to stir with the help of the stirrer. Then we have to observe the mixture in 3 conical flasks. So after observing this activity, there are 2 questions. First one, in which of the solvents, water, kerosene and cooking oil, does the coal powder dissolve? So coal powder does not dissolve in water, kerosene and cooking oil. In any kind of solvent, coal powder does not dissolve. Question number 2, what inference will you draw about the solubility of carbon? Carbon does not dissolve in water and organic solvent. After that, let us study about the reaction of carbon with oxygen. And to study this reaction, we have to take some apparatus like coal, matchbox, moist litmus paper, etc. And then we have to ignite the coal and we have to hold the moist blue litmus paper over the gas released on the igniting the coal, and we have to observe it. So after observation, we have to give the answers of the following questions. Question number 1, with which gas the air does the coal react on igniting? So on igniting, coal react with oxygen gas. Second one, what is the substance for? When carbon combines with oxygen, we get carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide gas is for. What change take place in the litmus paper? So moist blue litmus paper changes into turns. It means that the gas which is for, it is acidic in nature. Question number 4, write down the chemical reaction taking place in the above procedure. So carbon, it means C, plus oxygen O2, it gives CO2, means carbon dioxide. So also we know that when we exhale, the carbon dioxide gas is given out through our exhalation. And to prove that the carbon dioxide is present in our exhalation, we have to do one activity. For this activity, we have to take test tube, straw, lime water, etc. Then after that, we have to take freshly prepared lime water in a test tube and we have to blow for some time into the lime water through the straw and observe the lime water. So when we blow into the lime water turns milky. It means that when carbon dioxide is passed through lime water turns milky, and hence during exhalation we can prove that carbon dioxide is given out through our body. It means that in exhalation carbon dioxide is present. Now let us study about the carbon dioxide. So the molecular formula of carbon dioxide, that is CO2. The molecular mass, it is 44 Dalton. We know that the atomic mass of carbon is 12 and atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So there are 2 atoms of oxygen. So 2 into 16, it is equal to 32. 32 plus 12, it is equal to 44. The melting point of carbon dioxide is minus 56.6 degrees Celsius. And below this temperature, carbon dioxide found in solid state. So let us study about the occurrence of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide occurs in the air in the free state to the extent of about 0.03%. Exhaled air contains about 4% of carbon dioxide in it. Carbon dioxide is present as a salt in chalk and Shahabad tiles, marble, limestone, etc. Carbon dioxide is given out in the combustion of wood and the fossil fuel coal. So let us study how can we make carbon dioxide in laboratory. So to study the formation of carbon dioxide, we have to do one activity. For this activity, we have to take some apparatus like retort stand, round bottom flask, thistle funnel, gas delivery tube, gas jars, etc. And we have to take chemicals like calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3, pieces of Shahabad tiles, marble pieces, limestone, they contain calcium carbonate in it, and also dilute hydrochloric acid. So we have to assemble the apparatus as shown in the figure. So while assembling, we have to place calcium carbonate, the pieces of calcium carbonate in the round bottom flask. Then we have to add dilute HCl in the flask through the thistle funnel. And we have to observe that the chemical reaction take place between calcium carbonate and HCl. So when chemical reaction take place in between them, we get calcium chloride, CaCl2, salts of calcium chloride, plus H2O plus carbon dioxide gas is given out. And this gas passing through delivery tube, it is collected in the gas jar. So here in diagram we can see the CO2, it is collected in the gas jar. So after this activity, let us study about the physical and chemical properties of carbon dioxide. So the first physical property of carbon dioxide, that is, observe the color of the gas. The color of the gas which is formed during this activity, it is colorless. It means carbon dioxide, it is colorless. Second one, the smell of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, it is odorless gas. It does not have any kind of smell. Number 3, when we put some lime water in the gas jar, the lime water turns milky. Number 4, when we place a burning candle in the gas jar, the burning candle extinguish. It means carbon dioxide does not help for burning. Number 5, we have to drop a small amount of universal indicator in gas jar. Then this the color of universal indicator, it becomes yellow orange. It means the carbon dioxide which is present in the gas jar, it is acidic in nature. Number 6, when we pour some water in the gas jar, water combines with carbon dioxide gas and we get H2CO3. This carbonic acid is formed. When we put a blue litmus paper into the gas jar, blue litmus paper turns red and red remains red. It means that carbon dioxide gas, it is acidic in nature. So these are the physical and chemical properties of carbon dioxide gas. There are some more chemical properties of carbon dioxide too. Number 1, sodium carbonate, that is Na2CO3. This sodium carbonate, it is formed when carbon dioxide is passed through an aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide, it means NaOH. So chemical equation, it is given, that is twice of NaOH means sodium hydroxide when combines with CO2, it gives Na2CO3. Na2CO3 means sodium carbonate. It is also known as washing soda plus H2O. This is the first chemical property. Second chemical property, that is sodium bicarbonate, that is NaHCO3. It is formed on passing carbon dioxide gas through an aqueous solution of sodium carbonate. So sodium bicarbonate, it is also known as baking soda. Here the chemical equation is also given. Na2CO3 means sodium carbonate. When it combines with H2O and CO2, water and carbon dioxide gas, we get twice of NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate. So this is the second chemical property of carbon dioxide gas. Now let us study about the uses of carbon dioxide gas. And the first use, that is carbon dioxide gas is used to make aerated drinks, means cold drinks. Second one, solid carbon dioxide. It is used in cold storage and also to keep the milk and milk products and frozen substances cool during transport. It is also used for getting special effects of a mist in dramas and movies. Number three use, carbon dioxide CO2 obtained by chemical reaction or kept under pressure is used in fire extinguishers. Number 4, liquefied CO2, it is used to remove caffeine from coffee. Number 5, liquid CO2 is used as solvent in modern eco-friendly dry cleaning. Number 6, plants use carbon dioxide in air for photosynthesis. We know that carbon dioxide gas, it is used in fire extinguisher. So let us study about the structure and working of regular fire extinguisher. Here the picture of fire extinguisher has given. So we can see such kind of fire extinguisher in many different places. So a fire extinguisher, it contains sodium bicarbonate powder. Here we can see powder of sodium bicarbonate with a blue color. There is also a dilute sulfuric acid placed in a glass capsule. We can see the yellow glass capsule which contains sulfuric acid in it. The capsule breaks on pressing the knob. Here we can see the knob, and when we press the knob, the capsule breaks and the sulfuric acid, it comes in contact with the sodium bicarbonate and they react together to release carbon dioxide gas. This carbon dioxide gas, it is coming out from the fire extinguisher. This CO2 based fire extinguisher do not cause corrosion and they are non-conductors of electricity. So therefore these are used when electrical and electronic equipment catches fire. CO2 based fire extinguishers, they are used to extinguish small scale fire. It is beyond their capacity to extinguish a big fire. Means this fire extinguisher we can use to extinguish small fire. For big fire we cannot use this extinguisher. So in modern fire extinguishers, liquid and solid carbon dioxide is filled under pressure. So on reducing the pressure, it becomes gaseous and comes out forcefully through the horn-like hose pipe. So in this way, this regular fire extinguisher works. The chemical reaction which take place inside the fire extinguisher, that is twice of NaSCO3, that is sodium bicarbonate, react with H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. We get Na2SO4, sodium sulfate, this is a one kind of salt, plus 2H2O plus twice of CO2, carbon dioxide gas is given out, and this carbon dioxide gas, it helps for extinguish the fire.